In the heart of a wide green valley, where rivers drew silver lines across the earth and mountains kept watch like ancient guardians, lived a thoughtful turtle named Tamani. Unlike many turtles who were content with slow walks and quiet afternoons, Tamani carried a curiosity that never seemed to rest. While others napped in the shade, he stared at the sky and wondered what the world looked like from above. He wondered how the clouds felt from the inside, how the wind moved across the highest peaks, and how far the horizon really stretched. Every morning, he crawled to the riverbank and watched birds glide across the open sky. Some were tiny and quick, others wide-winged and elegant, but all of them shared the freedom he longed to understand. Among them was Saralek, a graceful migratory bird with a long neck and steady wings. Saralek traveled across continents and oceans, yet every year she returned to this valley to rest, and Tamani always felt comforted by her presence. One afternoon, Tamani approached her as she groomed her feathers by the water. "You know," he said softly, "every time I see you fly, I feel something I can't explain. I wish, just once, I could see the world as you do, high above, where everything looks small and beautiful." Saralek tilted her head thoughtfully. "Flying is not just a gift of wings," she replied. "It's a gift of courage. But why does a turtle dream of the sky?" Tamani gazed upward. "Because I want to understand the world. I want to know what lies beyond the hills, beyond the forests, beyond everything my legs can reach. I want to see the truth of things from a place where nothing hides." Saralek admired his honesty. She knew most turtles preferred safety over adventure. But Tamani was different, calmer yet deeper, slow but always thinking. After a long pause, she spoke with seriousness in her voice. "Maybe there is a way." Tamani's eyes widened. "Really? You mean it?" "If you trust me completely," Saralek said, "and if you can stay calm, very calm, then yes, I believe you can touch the sky." The next morning, Saralek returned with another bird, a strong and experienced flyer named Namor. The two birds carried a sturdy wooden stick between their beaks. Saralek explained the plan. "You must bite the center of the stick and hold on. Don't speak. Don't move too much. Don't look down for long. We will lift you together." Tamani swallowed nervously. "I'll do everything you say." He bit the stick firmly with his strong jaws, and the bird slowly lifted him off the ground. At first, only the grass bent beneath him. Then his feet left the earth. Then the wind filled his ears. Suddenly he was rising, higher, higher, and higher, until the valley stretched out beneath him like a painted map. Tamani's heart pounded, but not with fear, with wonder. The river that once seemed so wide now looked like a shimmering thread. The trees formed emerald clusters, the rocks like scattered pebbles. The mountains, so enormous from the ground, seemed gentler from above. Tamani felt as if he had stepped into another world, one where everything made sense. He wanted to cry out in amazement, but he remembered the rule: do not open your mouth. They soared over meadows, cliffs, and distant villages. Tamani saw rooftops, winding roads, fields patterned with crops. He saw things he had never imagined existed. And despite the weight of his shell, he felt lighter than ever in his life. But not everyone below appreciated the sight. As they passed over a rocky plateau, a group of crows resting on a ledge noticed the strange scene. "Hey look," one crow cawed loudly. "A turtle flying. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen." Another crow added, "Maybe he thinks he's one of us. What a silly creature." Tamani felt heat rise inside him. He wanted to shout, "I'm not silly. I'm brave." But he kept his mouth shut. He couldn't risk falling. The crows flew closer, circling him. "Come on, turtle," one teased. "Say something. How does it feel to hang like laundry in the sky?" Tamani trembled. He felt anger, embarrassment, and pride battling inside him. The teasing grew louder, echoing through the sky. He wanted desperately to defend himself. His jaws loosened, just slightly, just enough for one word to escape. The stick slipped. In an instant, Tamani lost his grip. The world spun as he plummeted downward. The wind roared past his ears. The ground rushed up with terrifying speed. Saralek screamed and dove after him, wings slicing the air. She folded her body into a narrow shape, chasing the falling turtle with everything she had. Namor followed sharply behind her. Just moments before Tamani hit the ground, Saralek reached him, pushing herself beneath his shell. Her wings strained, catching the air. She slowed his fall, but not completely, and both of them tumbled into a thick bed of dry bushes that cushioned the impact. Silence followed. Then Tamani groaned softly. "I'm alive." Saralek, exhausted but relieved, nodded. "Barely. You scared me, Tamani." He lowered his head, ashamed. "I'm sorry. I opened my mouth. I shouldn't have listened to those crows." Saralek rested a wing on his shell. Words from the unkind are like stones thrown from far away. They only hurt if you run toward them. You must learn to let them fall behind you. Tamani breathed deeply. The air smelled of dust and leaves, but also of wisdom. They rested under the shade of a large rock as the sun dipped lower. Tamani watched the sky, his sky, the one he had touched, and felt something shift inside him. "Even though it ended badly," he said quietly, "those moments up there, they changed something in me. I understand now. The world is much larger than I ever imagined. And fear is much smaller than it pretends to be." Saralek smiled. "Then the flight was worth it." Tamani looked at her gratefully. "More than worth it. You gave me a gift I can never repay." "You don't need to repay anything," Saralek replied. "Friendship is not a trade. It is a shared journey." Over the next days, Tamani healed, though he moved more slowly than usual. But his mind was brighter, his eyes clearer. He no longer watched the sky with longing, but with appreciation, because he had been there. He had felt the wind rushing past him, had seen the earth shrink to a patchwork of colors, had known what few turtles ever dream of. When Saralek prepared to migrate again, Tamani accompanied her to the riverbank. She spread her wings and said, "Remember, Tamani, the height of your body doesn't decide the height of your life. Your courage does." Tamani nodded. "And you helped me find mine." Saralek lifted off, gliding smoothly into the open sky. Tamani watched her until she became a tiny speck, then vanished into the sunlight. He turned back toward the valley, his home, his earth, but something in his heart remained aloft. He had not become a creature of the sky, but he had carried a piece of the sky back with him. And from that day on, whenever he saw a bird pass overhead or felt a breeze cross the land, he remembered the flight that had changed everything. Not because it lasted long, but because it opened his eyes to a world far bigger than his shell.